Hello aspirants, welcome to Target UPSC. First of all, thank you for the amazing response for English comprehension video. अगर आपने वो वीडियो देखा नहीं है, I would request everyone to go and watch that video. English comprehension का एक भी क्वेश्चन गलत नहीं होगा. अगर आपको उस वीडियो की लिंक चाहिए तो मैं यहाँ शेयर करूंगा एंड डिस्क्रिप्शन में भी लिंक डाल दूंगा. Go watch it. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का रिक्वेस्ट था विद रिस्पेक्ट टू अ वीडियो ऑन क्वांट एंड लॉजिकल रीजनिंग. सो इस वीडियो में ऋषि सर ने क्वेश्चन आंसर्स के थ्रू सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर किए हैं. सेकेंडली, इस वीडियो से आपकी प्रैक्टिस भी होगी सीसैट की. ये 2 घंटे का वीडियो अगर आप देखोगे तो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स हमने क्वेश्चन आंसर फॉर्मेट में कवर किए हैं. इंश्योर कीजिए इसको कंप्लीट देखिए, डू नॉट मिस इट एंड पूरा 2 घंटा देखिए. अगर आपको पसंद आता है, डू लाइक द वीडियो एंड शेयर इट अमंग ऑल योर फ्रेंड्स. इट्स अ ऑनेस्ट रिक्वेस्ट. इंग्लिश कॉम्प्रिहेंशन का वीडियो, पीवाईक्यू का वीडियो एंड ये वीडियो अगर आप कंप्लीटली देखते हो, CSAT 100% निकलेगा. Hope you watch this complete video and it helps you in clearing CSAT examination. We wish you best of luck for this year's prelims examination. Thank you.
So hi guys, welcome back. In the last few videos, if you have seen, we looked at the English concepts, we solved few questions in English. We also looked at few concepts and important formulas in maths that may come handy for you in this last mile of the preparation. And here we are with the maths practice questions. So my target is to solve as many questions as possible in next 2 to 3 hours. And most of these questions are kind of inspired from the questions that I've seen in the previous year question papers, right? So chances are this is the only practice that you will require in order to practice your quants or math section for the CSAT. All right. So without further ado, let's start. And here are some of the sample questions. Pause the video, give it a try, and then I will solve the question, and you can basically cross check the answers. So here goes the first question. Go ahead, pause the video and solve it. All right. So it says in a class 40% of the boys is same as half of the girls. So suppose number of boys is B, number of girls is G. 40% of boys is basically 40 by 100 of boys is same as half of the girls. Half of the girls is basically 1 by 2 of the girls, and there are 20 girls in total. So basically this half, and instead of G I can write 20. So this becomes 10 and this becomes 2 by 5. So 2 by 5 of B is equal to 10. 2 5s are 10. So B basically becomes 25. Now what is the question? Total number of students. So what will be total number of students? It will be B plus G. B is 25, G is 20. So your answer becomes 45. So B 45 is the answer in this case. Okay. Let's move to the next question. This says N and P are two positive real numbers. If N is 20% of P, N is 20% of P, then what must be the value of P in terms of N? So N becomes 20% is nothing but 1 by 5, so that is P. So P is equal to 5 times N. So then what must be the value of P in terms of N? P should be equal to 5N. Let's look at the next question. So there is a graph in this. Go ahead, give it a try, pause the video, understand the graph, based on try and answer the question. All right. So the following two items are based on the graph given below, which shows the COVID-19 vaccination. By difference, it is for 3 consecutive months, April, May, June of the same year. Study the graph and answer the 2 items that follow. Average number of vaccinations done in Lucknow is approximately what percent of the average number of vaccination done in Jhansi? So let's look at Lucknow. What is the Lucknow? It is 85 plus 45 plus 90, right? Again, they are asking for average number. So I'll have to divide it by 3. So average will be what? So I'm assuming this has to be some decimal number, right? Because 45 is divisible by 3, 90 is divisible by 3, but 85 is not. So what will be the answer? So 5 plus 5 is 10. This is 12 plus 10 is 220. 220 divided by 3 is basically average for, it is the average for the Lucknow. Now I want to look at average for Jhansi. Now what is the average for Jhansi? It is 30 plus 50 plus 60 divided by 3. So this becomes what? 90 plus 150 is 140 divided by 3. Okay, so now I have to take Lucknow as a percentage of Jhansi. So I'll divide this and multiply by 100. This 3 gone, 0 is gone. So this comes out to be 11 by 7. So my answer is 1100 by 7. Now what is 11 by 7? 11 by 7 is basically, this is 100 plus 400 by 7. Now this is, so my answer is definitely more than 100. So all these answers are more than 100. 4 by 7 is nothing but 57%. So this is basically 57 point something. So my answer has to be 157. So D is your answer in this case. So I'll give you a pro tip as to how do you divide by 7. Okay, always remember this circle: 1 4 2 8 5 7. Okay, now 1 by 7 is 14.2857142857, so on percentage. So look at the circle: 142857. This is the circle. Now what will be 2 by 7? Can I say 2 by 7 is approximately double of, or rather it's double of 1 by 7? So what is double of 14? 28. So you start with the same circle. This is 28.57142857, so on percentage. What will be 3 by 7? This will be 14 into 3. 14 into 3 is 42. So this is 42. So start from 42 and go clockwise. 42.857142857, so many percentage, right? Now similarly, what will be 4 by 7? It's 4 times 14. Now 14 fours are 56. You won't find 56, but the nearest number is 57. So it is 57.14285714 and so on percentage. So that's how you know that 4 by 7 or 400 by 7 is basically what? 57.14 percentage. That is the reason why 100 plus 57, 157 is your answer. Okay. Let's move to next question. So it says a third proportion of A and B is x plus y upon x minus y, and value of A is x square minus y square. Then find the value of B, right? Now what is the third proportion? Third proportion is basically, suppose A, B, C are in proportion. Okay. So third proportion is A upon B is same as B upon C. Now if that is the case, okay, if that is the case, can I say B square is equal to AC? Right? Now B square I don't know, but what is the value of A? A is x square minus y square. So if I expand that, it is x minus y into x plus y. And what about C? Now C is the third proportion. So this is x plus y upon x minus y. So can I say x minus y will get cancelled. B square becomes x plus y whole square. So B becomes x plus y. That is your answer, C. Let's move to next question. Go ahead, pause the video and give it a try. Okay. So it says the prepaid recharge of a certain telecom company X gives 21% less talk time than that given by prepaid recharges of telephone company Y at the same price. The postpaid talk time given by X is 12% more than that is given by its prepaid recharge at the same price. Further, the postpaid talk time given by Y is 15% less than that given by its prepaid recharge at the same price. How much percent less more talk time can one get from postpaid service of X as compared to postpaid service of Y? So you basically make a table. You make a table of X, Y, prepaid and postpaid, right? Now, what is it that we know? X gives 21% less talk time than that is given by prepaid recharge of telecom company Y. So, suppose Y gives, let's say, 100 as the talk time, then X gives 21% less. So, X will be what? 21% less than that will be 79, right? The postpaid talk time by X is 12% more than that given by its prepaid recharge. So this is 79 into 1.12. Now what is 12% of, let's say this is more or less 80. So what is 12% of 80? It's somewhere close to 9.6. So 12% of 79 will be somewhere close to, let's say, 9. I don't know, 9.5, 9.4, 9.5. So 9.5 plus 79 will be what? This is 80. So 79 plus 9.5 is somewhere about 88.5, right? Then what have they asked? Further, the postpaid talk time given by Y is 15% less than by its prepaid. So 15% less than this will be what? This will be 85, right? How much percent more or less can one get from the postpaid of service X? What is postpaid of X? 88.5 versus the postpaid of service Y. Postpaid of service Y is 85. Now 88.5 is more than 85. So my answer is definitely more. So all these less options are gone. So either it's 4% more or 5% more. Now you look at this. 85 to 88.5. How much is the increase? Is the increase of almost 3.5 over 85 and into 100. Now 3.5 is very close to 3.4. Why 3.4? Because 17 twos are 34, 17 fives are 85. And this is into 20. So 20 into 0.2 is somewhere close to 4%. So my answer is what? 4%. So basically you have to use approximation. This is one of those questions that you shouldn't attempt at the first go. You should rather kind of skip this question, come back to it if you have time in the end. Okay. So this is the answer. Let's go to next. Go ahead, pause the video, give it a try. All right. The price of an item is decreased by 10%, then by 20%, and finally by 30%. This is equivalent to what? So suppose price of the item is 100. It is decreased by 10%. So can I say this becomes 90, right? Then it is decreased by 20%. So what is 20% of 90? It's 18. So 90 minus 18 is 72. And this finally is decreased by 30%. So what is 30% of 72? So you basically multiply 72 by 3. So you get 21.6 basically. So 21.6. So 72 minus 21.6. What will be the answer? This is 4. This is 0. This is 5. So this is 50.4. So 100 to 50.4. How much is the decrease? So this is the decrease of 50.4. This is basically 49.6%. That is the decrease. Don't get confused by this option. 100 becomes 50.4. That means there is a decrease of 49.6. So decrease of 49.6 is what actually it's happening. Okay. Please don't make the mistake of marking 50.4. They deliberately give this as option 1 because chances are the moment you see this, you will mark that answer as the option. Okay. But what is they are asking? This is equivalent to what? Decreasing the price by. That means how much is the decrease in percentage? So that decrease in percentage is 49.6. All right. Let's move to next question. So this says M is 35% of N, L is 25% of N. What percentage of M is L? Now I can see N and N common. So what I do is I assume N is 100. So what is M? It is 35% of 100. So that is 35. And what is N? It is 25% of 100 is 25. So what percent of M is L? So M is 35. What percent of this is 25? So this multiplied by 100. So 25, this is 5 by 7. So this comes out to be 500 by 7 percentages. What is 500 by 7? It's option B. Okay. Go ahead, solve this. All right. So Rani bought more apples than oranges. She sells apples at rupees 23 a piece and makes 15% profit. She sells orange at rupees 10 a piece and makes 25% profit. Okay. All right. So basically, we'll make a table. We'll look at apples. We'll look at oranges, right? Let's look at cost price and selling price. Now, apples selling price is 23 rupees and she's making profit of 15%. So can I say this has to be 20 because 20 plus 15% is 3. So 20 plus 3 is 23. Then she sells oranges at 10 rupees a piece. So 10 rupees a piece is the selling price of orange and makes 25% profit. So 25% is what? 1/4. So can I say this has to be 8 because 1/4 of 8 is 2 and 8 plus 2 is 10. What else do we know? We know that, okay, so let's say this is the number of orange apples and oranges. So number of apples is, let's say, X and number of oranges is, let's say, Y. So if she gets 653 after selling all the apples and oranges, find her profit percentage, right? Now let's look at this. Let me just reduce the size. Okay. Now 653 is the profit she receives, right? So what is the profit per apple? It is 3 rupees. So can I say, okay, sorry, not the profit, the selling price. The total selling price is 653. So can I say 23 is the selling price of apple multiplied by number of apples plus 10 into the number of apples, which is a number of oranges. This has to be equal to 653. Okay. Now this is one equation. What is the other equation? Other equation I know is x is greater than y. Now this is not an equation. This is more of an inequality. Now we have two unknowns and only one equation. So how do you solve that? So there could be multiple answers to this, right? But we can eliminate answers based on two conditions. One, x and y both have to be integers because they are number of apples and number of oranges. 2, x has to be greater than y. So now let's look at possible combinations of x and y. All you have to do is figure out first combination, any one combination that you feel. Now I know this unit place is 3 and this unit place is 3. So what I do is I put x equal to 1. Now when x is 1, this becomes 23 and 653 minus 23 will be what? It will be 630. So can I say y will be 63? So y is equal to 63 and x is equal to 1. Can I say that is the first solution? Now how do you identify second solution? Second solution is you minus 23 from here. What do you get? 40. Now because you did minus from here, you did plus 10 here. So what is plus 10 here is 11. So the next solution is 11 and 40. But again, x is less than y, but we need x to be more than y. We need x to be more than y. So this solution doesn't work. So you do again plus 10 here. So this becomes 21. Because you do plus 10 there, you do minus 23 here. This becomes 17. Now look at this case. In this case, x is greater than y, right? Now further cases are not possible. Why? Because then this y minus 23 will give me a negative number. and number of oranges cannot be negative. So the only possible combination is x is equal to 21 and y is equal to 17, right? Now what is the total profit? Total profit is 21 apples into 3 rupees per apple, 17 oranges into 2 rupees per orange. So that's 63 plus 34, that becomes 97 rupees. Now what is the cost price? Cost price is 20 apples into 20 rupees per apple into 21 apples plus 8 rupees per apple per orange into 17 orange. So this is 420 plus this is 136, I guess. Right? So this becomes 556. So what will be the profit percentage? Profit percentage is 97 upon 556 into 100. So what is 97 upon 556? This is more or less close to 100 by 550. Right? 100 by 550 is what? 200 by 11. So that is close to somewhere about 18% or a little less than that. Right? So this is very close to 18%, but less than that. Right? So very close to 18%, less than that. Answer is B, Bombay. Okay. So this is the concept that you need to remember, that because when you do 23x plus 10y, right, x and y are variables, whereas this 653 is a constant. So if x is going up, y has to go down because they both have to add up to 653. If y is going up, x has to go down because they both have to add up to 653. So what you do is you increase the coefficient of x, you increase the value of x with the coefficient of y, and in order to nullify that effect, you decrease the coefficient of y with the coefficient of x. You keep on doing that, you will keep getting multiple solutions, but there is only one solution that satisfies x is greater than y, which is 21 and 17, and based on that you can answer. Okay. All right. Let's move to next question. It says if the price of petrol increases by 25%, but Raj intends to spend only an additional 15% on petrol, by how much percent should he reduce the quantity of petrol purchased, right? So see, your expenditure is a product of two things. One is price and one is quantity. Suppose your expenditure is P into Q. This is the normal ones, right? Now after the hike, what happens? Petrol increases by 25%, price of the petrol. So P becomes 1.25 P and Q becomes, let's say, Q dash, the new quantity. But expenditure increases by 15% only. So expenditure becomes 1 into 1.5 E. Now this is after the hike, right? So now what you do is you divide the two. This E will get cancelled, P will get cancelled, you will get Q and Q dash. So 1 upon 1.15 is equal to Q upon 1.25 into Q dash. So what is the value of Q dash? Q dash is 1.15 upon 1.25 into Q. So this is 23, this is 25. 23 by 25 is what? How much percentage? 23 by 25 is 23 into 4, which is 92 percentage. So 92 percentage of Q. So or this is equal to 0.92 Q, right? So that means what? Your Q dash is 0.92 Q, which is 8% less than your original. 100% is 100%, 92% is 8% less than 100%. So your consumption gets reduced by 8%. Okay. Next, Rohan works in a sanitizer factory. In a 176 liter mixture of glycer and alcohol, there is 80% alcohol. How much alcohol should he be evaporated from the mixture to reduce its percentage to 60%? Okay. So Okay, so 170. Okay, let me erase that. Let's look at the two things. One is alcohol and one is glycer, right? This is original and then after evaporation, right? Now in original, can I say 80% is alcohol? So can I say 20% has to be glycer, right? And this total is how much? This total is 176 liters. So this basically is 100%, right? I'm sorry. Now, how much alcohol should be evaporated from the mixture to reduce its percentage to 60%? Now, after evaporation, this becomes 60%. So, can I say glycer becomes 40%? Now, during evaporation, alcohol, the quantity of alcohol is changing, right? So, in questions like this, please focus on something that is not changed. So in this case, glycer has not changed. What is glycer in this case? 20%. So 176, what is 20% of that? So that is 34 plus 12. So can I say this is 35.2? Right? Now here also it is 35.2. Yes or no? Because glycer is still the same. But now 35.2 becomes 40%. So if 35.2 is 40%, what is 100%? So you cross multiply 100 divided by 40 into 35.2. So this is 5, this is 2. So this will be what 35 into 5 is 150 plus 25, 175 plus 1, 176 divided by 2. This becomes, sorry, 176 by 2, 88, right? So this becomes 88 liter. Now this is 100%, right? Now 176 liter becomes 88 liter. Now what has evaporated? Alcohol. How much alcohol evaporated? Can I say minus 88 liter? So your answer is B. How much alcohol should be evaporated? It's 88. So in questions like this, always focus on what is it that is not getting changed, which is glycer in this case. Okay. In an election contested by two parties, Party D secured 12% of the total votes, more than Party R. If Party R got 132,000 votes and there are no invalid votes, then by how many votes did it lose the election, right? So, in an election contested by Party D secured 12% of the total votes, more than Party R. That means what? If 100% is the election, right? You have D and R. What is the neutral scenario? Neutral scenario is 50% and 50%, right? But in this case, Party D secured 12% of the total votes, more than Party R. That means what? D has to get 56% vote and R has to get 44% vote. Yes or no? Because then the difference will be 12%. Now R got 132,000. So R got 132,000 votes, right? And there are no invalid votes. Then by how many votes did it lose the election? So 44% is 132,000 and it lost the election by 12%. So what will be 12%? So you cross multiply 12 into 132 divided by 44. This is 11 4s are, this is 11 12s are, 4 3. So 12 3s are what? 36,000. So answer is C. Okay. All right. So this is a graph based question. The graph below indicates relationship between fertilizer consumed in kg per acre to output in quintal per acre. Okay. So indicates relationship between consumption versus the output. Study the graph given below carefully and answer the questions that follow. What is the minimum angle that the given graph makes with the x-axis? What is the minimum angle? So what is this minimum angle? Can I say it has to be 0? Because this is where it makes 0, right? It becomes completely flat for a very small period of time. Is the answer 0? I guess answer has to be 0, right? Because for this tiny proportion here, if you see, for this tiny proportion here, the graph will be perfectly horizontal, which is parallel to x-axis. That means there is an angle of 0 degree in between them. Okay. So this is a data sufficiency question. N is a multiple of 5, y is a multiple of 4. Okay. X is 40% of n and n is 75% of y. N and y are positive integers. X is a positive integer or not. So n and y are positive integers. N and y are positive integers. Now n is a multiple of 5. Can I take 40% of any multiple of 5? What is 40% of 10? That's 4. 40% of 25, that's 10. So this will be an integer. And n is 75% of y. Now y is a multiple of 4. So that means n is an integer. And if n is a multiple of 5 and is 75% of y, that means n is also an integer, which can be, for which 40% can be taken out. So can I say x has to be an integer as well? So without even solving, you can understand that x is an integer. So I used both the statements together to arrive at my conclusion. So both statements together are sufficient to answer. So D is the answer in that case. Okay. 30% of the men are more than 25 years old and 80% of the men are less than or equal to 50 years old. Okay. 20% of all men play football. If 20% of the men above the age of 50 play football, what percentage of the football players are less than or equal to 50 years? So 30% of the men are more than 25 years old. Okay. So you have more than 25 and less than or equal to 50. How many are there in more than 25? 30% of the men are more than 25. So, okay, let me draw it like this. Okay, so there is a band 0, 25, 50 and onwards. 80% of the men are less than or equal to 50 years old. So can I say this basically denotes 80%, and 30% of the men are more than 25 years old. So can I say this denotes 30%? Can I say this denotes 20%? And this has to denote 70%. Now 0 to 50 is 80% and 0 to 25 is 70. So can I say this has to be 10%? Right? This is 10, this is 70, and this is 20. Right? So these are the numbers. 20% of all men play football. 20% of all men play football. So if I assume number of people are 100, so can I say 20 men play football? If 20% of the men above the age of 50 play football, so 20% of 20% is what? 4% basically. Right? So out of 100, so if let's say, I'm sorry. Okay. So I am assuming 100 people are there. So there are 20 people here, 10 people here, and 70 people here. Now football, all of the people who play football is 20% of men. So can I say 20? Now in football, how many are more than 50? 20% of the men above the age of 50. What is 20% of 20? 4. So can I say less than or equal to 50 must be 16? So what percentage of the football players are less than or equal to 50 players? Less than or equal to 50. So 16 out of 20 is what? It's 4 by 5. So 80%. So answer is C. Okay. Next question. In an exam, average marks of A, B, and C is 650. If marks of B are 50 more than A and 20 less than C, then what must be the marks of C? Average marks of A, B, C is 650. So A plus B plus C upon 3 is 650. So can I say A plus B plus C is 1950. If marks of B are 50 more than A, if marks of B are 50 more than A and 20 less than C, and 20 less than C, then what is the marks of C, right? So if I put this value of B here, so C minus 20 is A plus 50. So what is the value of A? C minus 70. So A is C minus 70, B is C minus 20. So can I say C minus 70? If I use this equation, C minus 70 plus C minus 20 plus C is 1950. So 3C, 7 plus 2 is 9, 9 plus 5 is, this is 2040. So what is the value of C? 3 6 are 80, 680. So answer is C, D. Okay. Next, Dinesh, a vegetable seller, cycled to market at a constant speed of 30 km per hour. He covered first 70% of the total distance in 10 minutes, more than the time taken in covering the remaining 30%. Okay, of the total distance. How far is the market? Okay, cycled at a constant speed of 30 km per hour. He covered first 70% of the total distance in 10 minutes, more than the time taken in covering the remaining 30% of the total distance. So 70, so okay, let's say total distance is 10d, right? So 70% is what? 7d. So 7d, he covered first 70% of the total distance in 10 minutes. So 7d divided by 30 km per hour. This is per hour. So this comes out to be 10 minutes more. That is 10 by 60 more than the remaining distance at the 30 km per hour speed, right? So what will be answer? This is 14d is equal to 10 plus 6d. So can I say 8d is 10? So d becomes 10 by 8. Now what is the total distance? 10d. So 10 into 10 by 8 is 100 by 8, which comes out to be 12.5 kilometer. So that's your answer, B, Bombay. Yeah. All right. Next question. For making sambar vada, if we use 2 parts of rice and 1 part of urad dal, then find the percentage of rice and urad dal in that dish. 2 parts of rice. So suppose 2 kg of rice and 1 part of urad dal, and let's say 1 kg of dal. Then find the percentage of rice and urad dal in that dish. So rice is 2 by 3 and dal is what? 1 by 3. So this is 66.67% and this is 33.33%. Rice and urad dal. So 66 and 33. C. Okay. Lucknow Shatabdi Express has a capacity of 500 seats. of which 10% are in the executive class and the rest are chair cars. So okay, so I have 500. Okay, how many are executive? 10%, so 50, and rest are chair cars. So can I say 450 are chair cars? Okay, all right. During one journey, the train was booked to 85% of its capacity. If the executive class was booked to 96%, 96% means what? 48 were booked from here, and total is 85. Total is 85. That means what is half of 85? Half of 85 is 425. So 425 seats were booked. So 425 seats were booked. Out of that, executive was 48. So what will be the chair cars? 425 minus 50 is 375. So that is 377. Then how many chair car seats were empty during that journey? So out of 450, 337 were filled. So how many were empty? 23 plus 50 is 73. So answer is B, Bombay. Okay. Next, two birds started flying towards the same direction at a speed of 20 km per hour and 25 km per hour. What will be distance between them after 4 hours 45 minutes? So suppose this is bird 1 and this is bird 2. Bird 1 is moving in this direction at a speed of 20 km per hour, and this bird is traveling at the speed of 25 km per hour, right? So if you see, they are both moving in the same direction. So what will be their relative speed? Relative speed will be, they are both moving in the same direction. So it will be B2 minus B1, which is 5 km per hour. Now what will be the distance between them after 4 hours? So every hour, what is the 5 km per hour? Every hour, their distance is getting widened by 5 kilometers. So in first hour, they will be 5 km apart, because bird 1 would have moved 20 km, bird 2 would have moved 25 km. So the difference between them after 1 hour will be 5 km. How much will be the distance after 4 hour 45 minutes? So you just multiply it by 5 into 4 hour 45 minutes is what? 4 hour plus 3/4 of an hour. So that is 5 into 4 4s are 16, 19 by 4. So 19 into 5 is what? 95 divided by 4. So that is 23.75 kilometer. So B is the answer. Oops. A museum has an average of 640 visitors on each Saturdays and Sundays, while 300 visitors on the other days. The average number of visitors per day in a month of 30 days beginning with a Saturday is. So how many Saturdays will be there? And how many Sundays will be there? So if you look at Saturdays, it begins with Saturday. So 1, 8, then you will have 15, 22 and 29. So these many Saturdays, these dates would be Saturdays. Sundays will be 2, 9, 16, 23 and 30. So I will have 5 Saturdays, I will have 5 Sundays. So total 10 days on which I will have 640. So remaining 20 days, I will have 310 each. This divided by, I need average visitors. So this divided by 30. So this is 6400 plus this is 6200 divided by 30. So this is like 2 times 6300 divided by 30. Right, so this is 210 and this becomes 420. So my answer is 420. Okay. If A's salary is 25% higher than B's salary, then how much percent is B's salary lower than A's? So A's salary is 25% higher than B's salary. So what I assume is B's salary is 100. So can I say A is 125? Now how much is B's salary lower than A? B's salary lower than A. So always remember, you might get confused when it comes to percentages. How do you identify the percentage change? So percentage change is always change divided by the initial value into 100. Now sometimes you might get confused that change is 25, that anybody understand. But should I take 100 or should I take 125 in the denominator, right? So I'll give you a simple technique as to how do you identify that. Okay. See, most of the percentage questions will be comparison based questions. It's like how much is one more than the other? How much is one less than the other? How much is one longer than the other or shorter than the other? So these are superlative degrees in English. If you know what are superlative degrees, they are usually comparative degrees. I'm not sorry. So these are comparative degrees, not superlative. I'm sorry. These are comparative degrees. And what is the framework for comparative degrees? They always have something more than, less than, something else. So they will have these than and before that some adjectives, longer, shorter, or something like that, right? I don't know whether they are called adjectives or whatever. So whatever follows after than is basically your base here, right? So in this case, how much is B's salary lower than A's? So that means what? A is the benchmark and how much is B less than that, right? Or in first case, then B's salary. In first case, B was the benchmark. So that's why I considered B as 100. So that then it becomes very easy for me because my base is 100. Now I know A is 25% more. So I'll just put 125 there, right? So this is 25 and then A is, so this will be divided by 125 and into 100. So 25 by 125 is 1 by 5. So this becomes 20%. So your answer is B, Bombay. Okay. So always look for what follows after than. That is usually your denominator in the percentage questions. Okay. How much water must be added to a 100 cc of 80% solution of boric acid to reduce it to 50% solution? Okay. So again, I have, let's say, some amount of boric plus some amount of water. What is my initial composition? Initial composition is 80 cc of 80% solution. That means what? 80% is boric, 20% is water. What is total? Total will be 100%. This according to question is 80 cc. So can I say this will be 20 cc and this will be 80 cc. Now what happens afterwards? How much water must be added to reduce it to 50%? So this becomes 50%. But my quantity is still the same because I am adding water, right? So I ignore water. I look at what is constant. What is constant? Boric is constant. So this is still 80 cc. Now if 80 cc is 50%, can I say remaining 50% is also 80 cc and this 100% becomes 160 cc. Now look at this. I had 100 cc, that becomes 160 cc. So how much is addition? 60 cc. So I need to add 60 cc water. Okay. So this is again a graph based question. The number of females that have chosen computer is how many times the number of females that have chosen arts? Number of females. So female is this slant lines. How the number of females that have chosen computer. So number of females that have chosen computers, this seems like 110, is how many times the number of females that have chosen arts? Female arts is, I guess, 50. So 50 by 110 is 220 by 100. That means it's 2.2. Okay. The difference between the simple interest and the compound interest compounded annually at a rate of 12% per annum on rupees 5,000 for 2 years will be, right? So how much will be the simple interest? Simple interest will be P, which is 5,000, N, which is 2 years, R, which is 12 upon 100. So these two are gone. So this is 120 rupees, right? Now what you do is always understand, I'm sorry, simple interest and compound interest for the first year is same. So if this is X, this is also X. In the second year, simple interest is X, but compound interest is X plus R% of X. That is the difference, right? So this is still 120. Okay. This is also 120 plus for what is 12% of 120? It's 14 point. So sorry, for first year, for 2 years it is 120. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. For 2 years, this is 120, right? So can I say this is 60 and this is 60? Okay. This is total, not this one. I made that mistake. I'm sorry. Okay. This is total. So this is 120. Now what is this? If you look at compound interest formula, what is amount? It is principal into 1 plus 12 by 100 square. So that is what? 5,000 into 1.12 square. Now what is 1.12 square? 1.12 square is 1.2544. So this is 1254.4 into 5. So that becomes what? 22, 27, 2 and 1, 6272, right? So what is the interest? This is 6272, or okay, so this is 1200. 6272 minus 5000. So that is 1272. This is 1272. Now what is the difference? It is 72 rupees, right? Now 72 rupees is the difference. So this is one way of getting the answer, right? The other way of getting the answer is the compound interest for the first year and second year is always same. Okay, this is 600, this is also 600. Here also it will be 600. Here it will be 600 plus 12% of original interest. What was the original interest? 600. What is 12% of 600? 72. So 600, 600 is common. Here also 600, 600 is common. And the only difference that arises is because of this 72. So instead of doing this long calculation, what you can do is, all you have to do is find the simple interest, which is 1200, or this is for 2 years. For 1 year, it is 600, and find the interest on that. What is interest? 12%. So 600 into 12 divided by 100. So that comes out to be 72. So that becomes your answer. So all you have to do is figure out simple interest for 1 year and find the interest on that, which is basically 12% of that. This you use only for 2 years. Only for 2 years. That you have to remember. Okay. If you want to look at the formula goes something like, difference is PR square by 100 square, I guess. Yes, this is the formula. PR square by 100 square. So in our case, what was P? P was 5000. R is 12 into 12 divided by 100 square is 100 into 100. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5 2s are 2 6 are, and this becomes 72. So PR square by 100 square, either you remember this formula or you do it the way that I just did. Okay. Please remember, this is only for when it is 2 years. Only for 2 years. Don't use it anywhere else. Okay. All right. A mixture of 90 liters of milk and water has 19% of water in it. What quantity of water should be added to the mixture so as to make the percentage of water 46% in the resulting mixture? Okay. So mixture of 90 liters. Okay. It has 19% water. So can I say milk is 81% and water is 19%. What quantity of water should be added to the mixture so as to make the percentage of water 46% in the resulting mixture? Now in the current mixture, 90 liters is milk and water. This is total 90 liters. So how much is milk? So that is 72.9 and remaining will be water, which is I guess 17.1, right? Now what am I doing? I am adding water in it so as to make the water percentage, water should be added so as to make the water percentage 46%. So I am making this 46% by adding water. But this is still the same. This is 72.9 only. But the now 46%, and so this will become 54%. So now 54% is 72.9, right? So what will be 100%? So you cross multiply 100 into 72.9 divided by 54. So this is 10 into 729 by 54, right? So this is 9. So this is 27 into 2. This is 27 into 27. This is into 5. Into 5 is upon 2. This is 135 liter. Now how much liter did I have? 90 liter. After adding this water, how much is it becoming? 135 liter. How 135 liter? This is where I got it from, right? Now this is still the same. So what has added is water. So how much water must have been added? 135 minus 90, which is 45. So can I say this is 45 liter of water that was added? Okay. Let's go to next. A company with 800 employees is planning to hire 100 additional employees at the beginning of the next fiscal year. Currently, only 10% of the company's employees have a college degree. How percentage of the additional employees be hired should have a college degree in order to double the number of employees having college degrees? So I have 800 employees right now, right? I have to hire 100 more, right? Currently only 10%. So how many degree holders are there? 10%. So can I say 80 degree holders are there? So can I say how many non-degree holders are there? That has to be 90%. So that is 720. Now how percentage of the additional employees to be hired should have a college degree in order to double the number of employees having a college degrees? Now I want to double this. So this should become 160. So can I say this is basically plus 80? So can I say these 100 people that I am hiring, these 80 should have degree and this 20 should not have a degree, right? So how much percentage of the additional employees? So additional employees is 100. Out of that, 80 should have a college degree. So can I say 80% of the workforce that I am hiring should have a degree. So answer is 80%. Okay. 20 kg in 2 acres and remaining in 3 acres. 20 kg in 2 acres. 20 kg in 2 acres will give me 20 into 2, 40 quintals there itself. Definitely this is the maximum. A shopkeeper purchases a packet of 50 pens at rupees 10 per pen. He sells a part of the packet at a profit of 30%. On the remaining part, he incurs a loss of 10%. If his overall profit on the whole packet is 10%, the number of pens he sold at profit is. So this is a classic mixture allegation. One at 30%, another at 10%. If you mix the two, you get 10%. So this is 20 and this is 20. So ratio is what? 1:1. So 25 pence he sold at profit is 25. So 25 pence at profit and 25 pence at loss. If you do that, you will get the same. You will get 10% overall profit. In a certain business deal, the profit percentage is set at 80% of the cost. If the cost further increases by 20%, but the selling price remains the same, then what must be the new profit percentage? So what is cost price, selling price, and profit percentage? The profit percentage is set at 80% of the cost. So suppose 100 is the cost, 80% is the profit. So selling price is 180. If the cost further increases by 20%, so cost becomes 120, but the selling price remains the same. So selling price is still 180. 120 to 180 is what? 60. 60 by 120 is 50%. Then what must be the new profit percentage? 50. Okay. What will be the average of A plus 2, A plus 4 up to A plus 12, where A belongs to any natural number? So you have A plus 2, A plus 4, A plus 6, and this is only A plus 12. So let me just list down. A plus 8, A plus 10, and A plus 12. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So can I say the middle term will be the average? A plus 6. Yeah. A report consists of 20 sheets, each having 55 lines, and each such line consists of 65 characters. This report is retyped into sheets having 65 lines such that each line consists of 70 characters. The percentage reduction in the number of sheets is close to. So how many sheets will be required? You have 20 sheets, 55 lines, 65 character divided by 65 lines and 70 character. So this is 11, this is 14, this is 7, this is 10. So 110 by 7. So these many sheets will be required. How many are the sheets earlier? That is 20. That is 140 by 7 sheets. Right? So the percentage reduction in the number of sheets. So 140 becomes 110. So decrease of 30 over 140 into 100. Right? So this is 2, this is 7. That is 60 by 7. What is 60 by 7? 6 by 7 is 85%. So 85.71%. The percentage reduction in number of sheets, 8.57. Oops, where is the mistake? 140 becomes 110. So that's decrease of 30 over 140. The percentage reduction in number of sheets. So 30 is the reduction out of 140 into 100. So this is 2 sevens are, this is 2 fives are. Oh, it's 150. This was 5. I'm sorry. 150 by 7. So what is 150 by 7? This is 20. So 7 twos are 14 and then 10. So 1 by 7, 21.1428%. So it's closest to 20%. I'm sorry, I made this mistake here. All right, let's go to next. A bullet train travels 50% faster than a Shatabdi Express train. Both start from point P at the same time and reach point Q, 125 km away from P at the same time. On the way, however, the bullet train lost about 17.5 minutes while stopping at the stations. The speed of Shatabdi Express train is. A bullet train travels 50% faster than a Shatabdi Express. So suppose Shatabdi speed is 50% faster. So if Shatabdi speed is 100x, then bullet train speed is 150x. Both start from point P at the same time and reach point Q, 125 km away at the same time. Okay, so 125 km away. So 125 km at the speed of 100x, 125 km at the speed of 150x. Both of them reach at the same time, but this guy waited for 17.5 minutes. So in hours, this is divided by 60. So these two have to be equal. So let me put x terms on one side. So this is 125 by 50x. This is 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 is equal to 175 by 600. So 25 5s are 25 7s are 5 10s are and 10, this is 60, right? So 60 by 7 into 1 by 6 is equal to x. So what is x? 10 by 7. The speed of Shatabdi Express train is, Shatabdi is 100x. So what is 100x? 1000 by 7. So that is 142.85 kilometer per hour. See. Okay. The average of 80 numbers is 68. If two numbers 36 and 74 are removed, then what should be the new average? So 80 into 68 minus 36 minus 74 divided by 78. What is 80 into 68? This is 4. This is 54 minus 110 upon 78. This is 5330 divided by 78. 5330 divided by 78. This looks quite weird. So what is 78 into 70? This is 5460. So my answer is definitely less than 70. What is 5460 minus 78? This is 5382 and I need 5330. So my answer is less than 69 also. The only option there is B, Bombay. All right. 40% of the employees of a certain company are men and 75% of the men earn more than 425,000 per year. Okay, so 100%, right, are employees. 40% of the employees in company are men. So 40% are men. So 60% will be women. And 75% of the men, 75% of 40% is basically 30%. So remaining 10%. So these are more than 425k. These will be less than or equal to 425k. If 45% of the company's employees, so 30% is here. So can I say remaining 15% will be here? So remaining 50, 60. So 45% will be less than or equal to 425k. What fraction of the women employed by the company earn 425,000 or less? What fraction of women? So 45 of 60. So that's 3 by 4. So 75% of women. 3 by 4. If a% of x is equal to b% of I, so a divided by 100 into x is b divided by 100 into y, then c% of y is what percent of x? Okay, now I want to take c% of y. So this is what ax by b is basically v. What is c% of y? What is c% of y? This is ax by b into c by 100 is equal to, so this is c% of y. Then c% of y is what percent of x? So this as a percentage of x. Right? This as a percentage of x. So x will get cancelled. This is AC upon b into 100 and this will be into 100. So 100 we can answer AC by b percentage. AC by b. Next, rent of a room is 9600 which is shared among K, M, R and S. If contribution of K and M, M and R and S, K and M is 1:2, M and R is 2:3 and R and S is 5:6. So I multiply this by 5, I multiply this by 3. So if I multiply this by 5, this is 5, 10, 15, this is 15 and this is 18. So this is the overall ratio. And what is the contribution of Malkan in the rent? Malkan is 10 over 15, 30 plus 10 is 48. So out of 48, 10 rupees is contributed by him. So out of 9600, how much will that be? That's 2000. So that's your answer, B. On selling a pen at 5% loss and a book at 15% gain, Karan gains rupees 7. If he sells the pen at 5% gain and book at 10% gain, then he gains rupees 13. The actual price of the book is on selling a pen at 5% loss. So 0.95 of cost price of pen and 1.15 on a cost price of book, he is earning 7. Or what should I write? So it is actually, no, this is actually B plus P plus 7, right? So this is 0.15 P minus 0.05 P is equal to 7. So this is 15B minus 5P is equal to 700. So this is your equation 1. What about the other? If he sells the pen at 5% gain, so 0.05 of pen and the book at 10% gain, so 0.1B, he gains rupees 13. So 5P plus 10B is equal to 1300. Right? Or P plus 2B is 260. The actual price of the book is, so P from here is what, 260 minus 2B. This can be written as 3B minus P is equal to 140. Now instead of P, I write minus 260 plus 2B is equal to 140. So 5B is 400. So B becomes 80. So the price of book is 80. All right. This is, this looks like, okay. Consider the following statements. If a sum of money is lent at a simple interest, then money gets doubled in 5 years if the rate of interest is 16.67. So 16.67 is basically 1/6. right? So money gets doubled. So that means P in 5 and 16.6 here is 1 by 6. So this is 5 by 6. This is not equal to P. So this statement is wrong. If money gets doubled in 5 years, if the rate of interest is 20%. So P into 5 into 20 upon 100. So this is equal to P. So whatever is your principal is your interest. So your amount gets doubled. So this statement is true. An amount of money becomes 4 times in 10 years if the same amount of money gets doubled in 5 years. So 20% at 10 years. So P into 20 into 20 upon 100 is equal to what? This is 2P. Right? So amount gets thrice. P plus 2P interest. What will be the amount? The amount here is 2P, amount here is 3P. This is 5 years, this is 10 years, right? So in 10 years, the amount becomes 3 times. In 5 years, the amount doubles. So this doesn't make sense because it talks 4 times. So only 2 is correct. So next question. The bar graph given below provides the data gathered in survey conducted over 1200 people. Okay. Regarding their preference for different dishes in percentage, study the graph and answer the question that follows. What is the ratio of number of people that preferred Pongal and Rogan Josh to those that preferred Dhokla? Okay. Preferred Pongal and Rogan Josh. So what is Pongal? Pongal percentage is 10% plus Rogan Josh percentage is 15%. This to that who preferred Dhokla, which is 20%. So this is for 25 by 20. So that comes out to be 5 by 4. A. Okay. Next. A shepherd has 1 million sheep at the beginning of the year 2000. The number of sheep grows by X%. X is greater than 0 during the year. A famine hits his village in the next year and many of his sheep die. The sheep population decreases by Y% during 2001, and at the beginning of 2002, the shepherd finds that he is left with 1 million sheep. Which of the following is correct? So basically 1, or let's say, so suppose number of sheep is, let's say, n increases by X%, then decreases by Y%, and it still remains n. Okay. Now let's assume the options. Suppose X is equal to Y. So what I assume, this is 100 and this is, let's say, 10% increase and then 10% decrease, right? So what will happen? 10% increase, 10% decrease. So this will become 110 first, and 110 minus 11, this will become 99. So 100 is not equal to 99. So this option doesn't work, right? So same percentage increase and same percentage decrease will always result in overall decrease. Okay. So in that case, your percentage increase will always have to be more than percentage decrease. X has to be greater than Y, because at X equal to Y, you have net negative. Now if Y is more than X, you will always have negative because Y% is more than X%. When you have X more than Y, chances are you will have positive. You suppose it increased by 100% and then got reduced by 10%. Okay, suppose this is 100, it increased by 100%. So what will that be? That will become 200, and then this is decreased by 10%. So that will become 50%. Sorry, so that will become 100. So X is 100, Y is 50, X is more than Y, right? So X has to be more than Y. At X equal to Y, the overall it will be decrease. Anyway, if Y is more, that means negative is more. So anyway, it will decrease. So B will definitely not be my answer. A is answer in that case. Okay. In a horse race, for the first round, Kalicharan makes his horse run at an average speed of 40 km per hour. In the second round, he increases the speed by 50%. What is the average speed of the horse in the horse race? Okay, so first is 40 km per hour, first round, right? In the second round, speed increases by 50%. That means 40 plus half of 40, which is 60. So this becomes 60 km per hour, right? Now assume, let's say distance, or let's say lap is 240 km. So for first round, how much time did you take? 240 by 40, which is 6 hours, and then 240 by 60, which is 4 hours. Now what is the average speed? Average speed is always total distance divided by total time. What is total distance? 240 kilometer, 2 laps, 2 rounds. And what is total time? 6 hours plus 4 hours. So this is 480 divided by 10. So that becomes 48 kilometer per hour. Okay. Don't make a mistake of taking the averages of speed. Okay. Average speed is always total distance upon total time. Please remember that. It's not the average of the individual speeds. Two friends, Ajit and Lalit, made investment in a business in the ratio 60:40. Lalit had borrowed his entire invested amount as personal loan at an annual interest rate of 5%. He repaid this loan after 1 year. After 5 years of investment, they got a profit of 30% on the total investment they had made. What is the ratio of actual profit made by Ajit and Lalit? Okay. So let's say this is Ajit, this is Lalit. 60:40. So let's say I assume 6,000 is the investment by Ajit, 4,000 is the investment by Lalit. Now 4,000 he borrowed, Lalit had borrowed as a personal loan at an annual interest of 5%. So 4,000 into 5% for 1 year upon 100 is basically 200 rupees. Right? So he basically incurred an interest of 200. After 5 years, they got a 30% on the total investment. So what is the total investment? 10,000. 30% of that will be 3,000. So this will be divided in the ratio 6:4. So that is what 18, 6:4. So that will be what? 1,800 and 1,200. So this is the ratio in which profit will be divided. Actual profit will be what? This will still be 1,800, but this guy had incurred an interest of 300. So this guy is 200. This is 1,200 minus 200. So this is 1,000. So what is this ratio? This is 18:10, which is 9:5. So your answer is C. Okay. So when they divide the ratio, they will still divide, when they divide the profit, they will divide it in the same ratio in which investment were there. But the question is asking actual profit. Now from actual profit, you will have to reduce the interest for Lalit, right? A business group has 3 companies XYZ and a trust P which is engaged in charitable activities. Each group company has to donate 5% of its own funds to the trust. X has given a loan to Y which is equivalent to 10% of the funds of Y. After receiving the loan, Y has funds which are 2 times the funds of Z. If Z gave rupees 10,000 in donation to trust P, then how much is the approximate contribution of Y to trust P? Okay, so trust P is each group company has to donate 5% of its own funds. Okay, so I have X, I have Y, I have Z. X has given a loan to Y which is equivalent to 10% of the funds of Y. After receiving the loan, Y has funds which are 2 times the funds of Z. So suppose Z has 100 Z. 10% of the X has given a loan to Y which is equivalent to 10% of the funds of Y. So 100Y plus 10Y, right? And my X becomes, it had some 100X before minus 10Y, right? After receiving the loan, Y has funds which are 2 times the funds of Z. So that means what? 110Y is 200Z. So what is Y by Z? 20 by 11. If Z gave rupees 10,000 in donation to Trust P, then how much is the approximate contribution of Y to Trust P? Alright, now if Z gave 10,000 in donation, so if Z is 10,000, so Y is what? 20 by 11 in 10,000. That's what? 2 lakh divided by 11. So that is somewhere close to 2 by 11 is what? 9 into 2 is 18. So 18, 1.818 rupees. So 18,181, which is closest to 18,000. A dealer sold 2 bicycles for rupees 9,900 each, gaining 10% on one and losing 10% on the other. The total gain or loss percent in the whole transaction is. So selling price of bicycle 1 is 9,900, and for bicycle 2 also it is 9,900. What is profit or loss percent? Bicycle 1% is 10% profit, bicycle 2 is 10% loss. So what is the cost price? So this is 10% profit, so this must be 9,000, right? And this is 10% loss, this must be 11,000, right? Yeah, so 10% is 990, 10% is what? 110, so 11 plus 99 is 1110. Okay, and yeah, this is 1900. Perfect. The total gain or loss percent in the whole transaction is, so what is the total selling price? It is 10,000, 20,000, 19,800, and this is 20,000. So there is a loss. How much is the loss? 200 rupees on 20,000 into 100. So this loss is 1%. COVID-19. Okay, so we saw this set. The ratio of minimum vaccination and maximum vaccination of which city is the highest? Minimum and maximum is highest for which city? So minimum here is 30 to 60, so 1 is to 2. 45 to 90, this is also 1 is to 2. And this is 45 to 105. So Lucknow is not the answer, Jhansi is not the answer, Noida is not the answer. This is also 1 is to 2. So it has to be Agra. In a community milk donation center, 4 people donate equal quantity of milk, such that ratio of milk and water in the mixtures donated are 1 is to 4, 2 is to 3, 3 is to 7, and 9 is to 1. So 1 plus 4 is 5, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 7 is 10, 9 plus 1 is 10. Captain, what must be the ratio of the milk and water? So suppose each donated 10 liter. So person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, milk and water. Person 1 is 1 plus 4 is 5, so double of that. So 2 milk, 8 water. This is 2 and 3, so 4 milk and 6 water. This is 3, 7 as it is. This is 9, 1 as it is. So this is 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, is to 14, 21, 22. So 18 is to 22 is what? 9 is to 11. That is the ratio. Okay. All right. Price of 15 shirts and 21 pants is equal to price of 18 shirts and 12 pants. What is the ratio of prices of one shirt and one pant? So 15 shirts plus 21 pants is equal to 18 shirts plus 12 pants. So minus 3 shirts is minus 9 pants. So shirt to pant ratio is what? 3 is to 1. One shirt and one pant. 3 is to 1. So answer is 3 is to 1. The percentage of accountants at a company that has 10,000 employees dropped from 10% at the end of the last year to 6% at the end of this year. If the number of employees at the end of this year is 9,500, what is the approximate change in the number of accountants over this period? So let's look at 2022 and 2023. Okay. The percentage of accountants at a company that has 10,000 employees dropped from 10% at the end of last year to 6% at the end of this year. So percentage of accountants and total number of employees at the end of this year is 9,500. If the number of employees at the end of this year, so at the end of this year is 9,500, previous year it was 10,000, 10% at the end of last year to 6% at the end of this year. So number of accountants, here it is 600 and here it is 950. What is the approximate change in the number of accountants over this period? 10,000, 6% is 10% at the end of the last year to 6% at the end of this year. It's ulta. I'm sorry. This is 6% and this is 10%. So this is 100 and this is 6 fives are 30 and this is, so this is 10% of 10,000 is what? 1,000 and this is 570. So 10,000, so 10,000 and 570. So there is a reduction of 43%. 43% increase. Okay. So this slide has somewhere around 110 questions and we are at slide 53. So let me solve two more questions and then we'll stop. Now this should be more than enough for your preparation. There are some more questions that are there. So do let me know in the comment box. Whether you want the video solutions for that as well. I'll anyway kind of share the questions with you. But in case if you want a video solution, do let me know. We can arrange that as well. Okay. So last two questions, let's look at it. A person deposited 13,200 in a bank, which pays 14% simple interest. If he rather had invested 110 rupees 110 stocks, which pays a dividend of 15% on the face value of rupees 100, how much would he had gained or lost? So bank versus the stock, right? A percentage of 13,200 in a bank which pays 14% simple interest. So 13,200 into 14% simple interest. I'm assuming 1 year, so divided by 100. So 14 twos are 28, 2, 52, 44. This is 1848. So 1848 is for 1 year. Rather, he had invested rupees 110 stocks. So 13,200 divided by 110. So how many stocks will he buy? 120 stocks. 120 stocks, 15% for 100 rupees. So divided by 100. So this would have had been 1800. How much would he had lost or gained? If he had rather invested in stock, he would have lost 48 rupees. He would have lost 48 rupees. Okay. Last question. 100 people were divided into two groups of 40 and 60 people. If the average age of 40 people and 60 people is 50 and 55 years respectively, what must be the average of all the persons? So 40 is to 60, right? So it's 2 is to 3. For these two, average is 50. For these three, average is 55. So 50 into 2 plus 55 into 3 divided by 5. So 5 tens are, so this becomes 20. 5 is 11, so this becomes 33. So this becomes 53. So your answer is 53. So I guess these are 54th slide. So somewhere about 53 questions we have solved. And I have, I guess, 106 slides. So I guess we are exactly at the halfway mark. So this is some of the questions, at least the easy ones that I could find. At least you should be able to do this. Yes, there are definitely difficult questions, but as long as you don't solve the difficult questions and focus on these easy questions only. So these are the concepts that I picked from last couple of year question papers, and the questions are asked basically somewhere around these. If you want to know what were the previous year question papers, we have another video where I have solved the previous year question papers as well. So you can check that if you want to see what kind of questions are asked. But again, this is a qualifying paper, right? So we don't have to solve everything. As long as you stick to the easy questions, the easy type of questions that I solved in this video, chances are you will be able to perform better in your CSAT. Okay, so that's it from my side. I have another 50 questions. I'll share those PPTs with you. In case if you want me to solve those again, let me know. Practice this video one more time if you want, but I guess this should be more than enough for your quant section. So we'll stop today here. This is all from my side for today. I'll meet you in the next video. All the best and happy studying.